schön, dass du da bist. Ich habe heute wieder ein Interview für dich. Und zwar ist es ein Interview mit Noks. Dieses Interview ist auf Englisch, einfach deswegen, weil Noks aus Südafrika kommt und dort auch Teil des Earth Child Project ist. Und als ich das erste Mal auf das Earth Child Project gekommen bin, war ich sofort richtig inspiriert. Ich dachte, das ist so eine wunderschöne Arbeit, was sie dort machen. Und zwar geht es darum, Kindern gerade auch in eher nicht so guten Gegenden, die geprägt sind von Gewalt, frühen Schwangerschaften, Drogen, Alkoholkonsum, alles sowas, Armut, ihnen dort einen Raum zu geben, einen Ort, wo sie hingehen können, wo sie sich mit sich selber verbinden können, durch Yoga, durch Wandergruppen, Hiking Classes, einfach auch durch die Menschen, die dort in diesem Projekt arbeiten und den Kindern diesen sicheren Raum bieten, diese stabile Verbindung zu ihnen auch schenken, was alles so stärkend auch für die Kinder ist. Und ja, ich will jetzt gar nicht so viel schon vorwegnehmen. Deswegen höre einfach rein in das Interview. Es ist sehr, sehr, sehr inspirierend und ja, es hat mir eine große Freude bereitet, mit ihr das Interview und das Gespräch zu führen und da auch nochmal auf diese Art und Weise einen kleinen Einblick in das Projekt zu bekommen, in die Arbeit zu bekommen und ja, was da auch dann an Veränderung durch dieses Projekt möglich ist. Ja, genau. Also jetzt einfach los geht's und viel Freude bei dem Interview.
So my name
Hello,
is Nokopiwo. Yes. Of course, you can call me Noks. In short, Nokopiwo means a gift. That is why I am Noks the Gift on my Instagram. If you wanna check it out, I'm Noks the Gift. So I do mindfulness. I do yoga, meditation in underprivileged schools and community. I work a lot with teachers. I work a lot with adults now, a lot. For the past 15 years, I have been working with children. In fact, 20 years, I've been working with children. And at some point, I realized that actually, the actual people who need medication are adults, because exactly. I promise you, the children are the happiest people in the world, and I can only do so much with the children. But if I don't invite the adult into my space and give them, a teaspoon of medicine, which is yoga, meditation, like I mentioned, mindfulness, then I would not be doing justice, because these children, they're minors. They go back to class and be with their teachers. They go back home and be with their parents. So that is why my focus kind of not necessarily changed, but I've expanded my focus and started working more with adults. But I also do things like family yoga, etc., on my spare time. I am also from around the corner. I grew up in a township called, very notorious area, called, it's one of the biggest township. Actually, it's the second biggest township in the whole of South Africa. It's called Khayelitsha. Yes. We've got more than 1 million people in Khayelitsha, and with a lot of social economic challenges. Of course, poverty is the biggest thing. Unemployment is one of the issues. substance abuse, you name them. It's a very notorious area.
Yeah.
But in that notorious area, there are lilies. That plant called lily that grows up in a very grossy kind of environments. There are lilies like me and the children that I work with, and the teachers and the parents that I work with. So that's in a nutshell my intro to myself.
Yeah. Yeah, you've already mentioned so wonderful things, because I think as well, because if we don't also capture or involve the parents or the teachers, the adults, like you said, we can do so much for the children, but they always gonna go back home or go back to the classes or that other environment, and that has a lot of impact as well. So we have to involve them. Yes, that's so true. Yeah. You said that 15 or 20 years from today or ago, you worked especially with children. And was it also the time where the Earth Child project, where are you involved, was started?
I've started Earth Child project 15 years ago with Jana, and it started as an idea. For 5 years, I was already on my own journey of I was just in a process of discovering myself, and trying to plant a seed of peace, a seed of kindness, a seed of these positive affirmations. And then I met with Jana. She had an idea of bringing holistic approach into disadvantaged communities.
Yeah.
And at that time, I had a group of kids that I was teaching drama, music, and dance. And when she shared the idea, it was love at first sight for me, because I was on a journey already. So it was a matter of yes, how and where. And then we looked for a school, and then we started the organization. We're still working with that same school, but now we have 8 schools in total in South Africa that we work with, and we teach more than 3,500 children on a weekly basis yoga. And their teachers, we've got more than 80 teachers who do yoga on a weekly basis as well, who go on hikes, like just mindfulness and etc. So that's it's been 15 years of Earth Child.
Wow, that's a long time. You already just kind of said that in a little sentence, that Jana just had that idea of bringing that holistic vibe, like in disadvantaged areas. Has there been also another kind of idea or wish? Because I think every project or everything we do just starts with a little seed, like an idea, a wish, or something that we want to change. Do you know what that was, except for that, or would you like to go deeper into it? What is the bigger vision like?
Vision. Well, when we started, all we wanted to do was to make a difference.
Yes.
And we didn't, to be honest, we didn't know, we didn't have any program. But now we definitely have a program. We've got focus areas. We're focusing on health and wellness. We're focusing on life skills. We're focusing on the environment. So those are kind of the 3 main focus areas that Earth Child is currently working with at the moment, with all the kids, with teachers, and also youth who have graduated from our primary school level. They always come back and want to do more, and we always have been creating the programs according to the needs of the children. So that is why we have the element of life skills as well.
Yeah. That's great. And how could I imagine that? You go into the schools and classes, or they come to your area, or is it both of that?
We work with schools. We go to schools.
Mhm.
Like I said, we've got 8 schools that we work with.
Yeah.
We're in the process of building classrooms in the schools now, so that we can have like a yoga class in each or like a yoga studio in each school. So we work with the school and the teachers and and like everyone was inside the school, and then the kids would graduate, because it's primary school. I didn't mention that. It's primary school, which is between ages of 6 and 12, 13. So that's basically the primary school level of kids that we work with. And then what happens is, when they graduate from our programs and from the school, let's say in grade 7, then they need to go to high school or higher grades. They always come back, because in high school there's no yoga, in high school there's no hiking club, and they always come back. And so what we do, we always create a program for them. So like, for instance, we have an alumni program, which is specifically for the higher grade children.
Yeah, that's great that they still have the opportunity to participate or to learn from you, even if they're not in primary school anymore. Yeah. What would you think, or would you say is the most important impact of yoga, or also of nature, on children, but also on adults? What kind of change can you recognize?
We have children now who walks around, for instance. And for me, it's not big things. It's more like simple things. We've got kids who walk around now with water bottles.
Yeah.
Just that's just for me, because we're talking about kids who come from underprivileged communities.
Yeah.
We've got kids who says now, one fruit a day takes me away from the doctor.
No.
At least
Yeah.
now they're starting to eat fruit more. We've got kids who are doing yoga in their homes. Like, I would get messages from parents who says, where can we buy yoga mat? Because my child wants us to do yoga. We've got families who sometimes who have changed their diet, who says we have meat-free Mondays, etc., etc. We've got kids who says, Miss, I no longer eat, too much sugar. I'm very moderated what I eat and what I put inside my body. So for me, it's those little stories that really, I can say, they inspire me to do more, because that's really an impact. And then we hear this from the teachers that kids who do yoga, you can just see them in class. They might not be like A students, but in terms of behavior, in terms of responsibility, and then now also the mindset changes, and then now they get into an A, just because of all the tools that we have given them. Because what happens is, our children grow up in a community where they're very discouraged. There's a lot of neglect. There is no time for children, basically, because their parents are very young, and they probably on the street now, using drugs or prostitution, or etc. So they're very absent, and so these kids are not motivated, and then now they end up not pulling their weight. But because of what we do, the work that we do, and also the facilitators being there for the children, and creating a safe container for the children to, to share. Like, we've got simple tools like sharing circle, for instance, where the children get to be heard, where the children get to be comfortable and be themselves. And now and then the marks go up, just because of all the tools that they're using, or the methodology rather that we are sharing with the schools.
The what? The
methodologies like yoga and meditation.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I just thought is that you plant like a little seed in the heart of the children, and it's also like getting over all the family in the best way. Like, where do we get a yoga mat? I want to start this too, and maybe also like the whole family is changing the way of eating, for example. And what you also said is that you create with the Earth Child project like a safe space where where the children can be themselves, and that's also exactly what I just found out, or where my research about resilience went last year. Like I told you a little bit in the introduction, that it just needs one person that is there for the children, just strengthen them, or giving them the tools you just said, and that's so inspiring. Because you already said these are so little things, but I think that's exactly where we have to start with the little things. We don't always just need that huge change, because with the little things we change, we're gonna maybe create the bigger change. Yeah.
True. That's so true.
What tools are those tools you're giving the children, or do you have an example?
I always, firstly, one of the things that I use are affirmations. Positive affirmations. You know, you wake up in the mirror, you wake up in the morning, you look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am beautiful. Yeah. I am full of good ideas. I am strong. I am kind. And there is no day that you can start without saying an affirmation. Yeah. And so that's that for me, that's the basic. And I always encourage the kids to take, even if it's a minute of connecting with themselves, whether they're just going to take a deep breath in and breathe out and close their eyes just for a minute and connect with themselves. And I always encourage them to always think of simple things that they're grateful for. Yeah. We live in a society where material things are much important than any other thing. Yeah. But I always encourage them to think of simple things. And one of the things that I always mention is that the fact that you woke up in the morning, because we're not in charge of our bodies. We're not in charge of this. The fact that you wake up, there are people who woke up in hospital. There are people who did not even wake up this morning. The fact that you woke up and you can see that all your fingers are working, you are able to look left or right, your eyes are still working. You know that is the fundamental thing that you need to be grateful for. Yeah, you know, absolutely. It's the simple things. So for me, I always invite the children to look on the positive side. Yeah. That's the most important thing, without even doing any practice, because there is no yoga you can do if you are negative. Yeah, so you firstly need to work on yourself. You firstly need to connect with yourself and look at, you know, how grateful you are for the fact that you're still alive. Yeah. You know, for the fact that your eyes can still see the light. You know, it's just those simple things. And then if you are able to move your body, even if you're still in bed, you know, if you are able to, you know, roll side by side in your bed, for me, that's a cherry on top. You don't have to do anything. And if you are able to walk out and smile at other people, for me, that's connecting with others. That's, you know, that's like your cake is finished. So basically, it's for me, it's the simple things that counts in my life. Absolutely. And it's the simple things that I always encourage people to do. Yeah. Without going around and going and doing stuff for just simple things, spreading the love by smiling at people, and smile is quite contagious.
That's true.
So
that's true.
I'm sorry. I'll talk for.
No,
That's me.
it's great. Yeah, it's great. I also think that connecting with yourself is just the basement. And it's so wonderful that you teach those tools where you don't even need anything and you don't need any like equipment, well, especially the yoga mat, but for those tiny tools like connecting to yourself, breathe in, breathe out, you just don't need anything except for your body to just be there and focus your mindset on, like what you said, the positive things, even if it's just, well, I'm alive, I'm still here and I can do something. That's so yeah, that's so inspiring. Yeah.
Thank you.
Is there also kind of way you're seeing learning in a different way than actually schools or teachers do? Because I've always I've also seen on your website that you have a little specific area also for learning.
So, speaking about that, the past weekend I did a creative classroom workshop with teachers.
Yeah, okay.
Because again, I realized that there was a gap. I'm sharing all these tools with the kids, but then they go back to class and the teachers are still shouting. Some of the teachers, they're still using corporal punishment because they don't know any other alternative. I understand. They shout because that's the way of living. That's the way they were brought up. So I've decided to develop tools that we can share with teachers, so that they can use in class. And so we definitely have that, and we piloted that over the weekend with 80 teachers. It was 40 the past weekend, and the weekend before we had another 40 group of teachers.
Lovely.
So we have themes that we will focus on. Like, for instance, we're introducing them to strength-based approach, where we say to the teachers, actually, instead of looking at this child and say this child is misbehaving and etc., how about you look on the positive side of this child? Find the strengths of this child, because this child might be misbehaving because she needs your attention, might be misbehaving because she is not able to hear what you're saying. Yeah. How about we create a simple way of teaching, learning through play, using songs, using games, using, again, we were sharing our methodologies, using meditation, using take a deep breath in and breathe out. So we are working on those programs for teachers. That was the first one, and we're looking forward to, doing as many of those as possible.
Yeah. A really important thing that you just mentioned is what I think as well, that most time teachers or schools just focus on the negative thing, what you can't do, where you have to improve, or what is wrong with you, but they actually oversee, like you said, the strengths and the beautiful things, or where maybe the talents of the child are. And that's so important to also reflect that to the children, because if we are just giving that negative feedback, they might think someday, okay, I'm not good at anything, especially when they are in an environment that is not really supporting them. So that's a really beautiful way of teaching or seeing the children, not just by what you have to improve, but what is already good. Yeah. That's so lovely. Would you like to just say or tell us another story you might have, or well, no, I just have a question. Would you think that also the project and your work is changing this perspective of the children in terms of the future?
Look, we work with children who comes from these homes, like I explained earlier, where they are not motivated, where they are discouraged, where there is just no love. And yet, in our programs, we always, like I said, we look on the positive side.
Yeah.
One of the tools that we use for our children to look forward to the future is by introducing them to the law of attraction, and how to create a vision board, because it's really in the mind, how to change your mindset, and for people who say you can't do anything, you'll never be anything, and you can actually surprise them if you tell yourself, if you believe in yourself. So basically, I always encourage them to believe in themselves.
Yeah.
And I always say to them, they must make me believe in themselves. So they must look and into the future with the bright eyes. Firstly, you need to open up your shoulders, open up your heart, so that you can receive the light from the sun, from the universe, because the universe is waiting for you to say, this is what I need. This is where I want to go. The only thing the universe that says, it says, your wish is my command. So you need to, look into the future with your bright eyes and your beautiful smile and your positive attitude. Yeah. And I always tell them that, sleeping without food, I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Yeah. It mustn't stop you from dreaming. It mustn't stop you from smiling. I know that it's not easy, but it is okay. But it mustn't stop you from looking forward. Yeah. So, yes, I always encourage them to look into their futures.
Yeah, that's so powerful. Also, like the work with the vision board. I think it's so great that you already introduced them with that kind of method. Yeah, and then they just believe in themselves, because I feel like also if other people know you can do it, you somehow start to believe in yourself that you can do this. And like you said, well, that's a whole other attitude to life and to the future. And yeah, that's so strengthening and positive. Yeah, so wonderful. For anyone who's just listening and thinks or is thinking, well, that's a wonderful woman here, and a great project. How can we support you and your work?
I am, firstly, the organization, there is a website that you can go to, www.earthchildproject.org. That's where you will find the organization. I always encourage people to follow me on Instagram and on my Facebook. I am Noks the Gift, and I'm currently in the process of registering, because, like I said, I want to work more with adults. And one of my projects that I started doing that was inspired by COVID was to start motivating and to start empowering middle-aged women, which is the parents who have given up on life, who says, I'm nothing, I don't think I'll ever be anything. And I look at those women and I empower them with tools, and so that they can look into the bright future. So I am, in the next couple of months, you will see that on my page. The biggest vision that I have, I want to build a center, like a wellness center in the middle of my community, Kaelitsha, where I will be doing a lot of activities that empowers all ages. of people to make a difference, to be at peace, man. And I feel like it's about time that we focus on ourselves. Like if you were to follow me on Instagram, you'll see one of my hashtags says, I choose me. I choose me. No one is going to choose you if you don't choose yourself. You firstly need to, choose yourself so that we can all see the beauty in you. So that's one of the things that I encourage onto people so that people can be positive, And so in the next couple of years, you will see that it's going to be on my Instagram. I'm still working on these, developing these programs, but I that's me. But Earth Child, it's www.earthchildproject.org. You will find me on Instagram as Noks the Gift, Noks the Gift.
Yeah.
That is my name. I'm also on Instagram or on Facebook as Noks Jada, my full name.
Okay, well, I will just put the links in the description. And that's so beautiful, that affirmation or that sentence, I choose me, because I've already also recognized how powerful that is if you decide something and you just go from that attitude. Well, I decide for myself. I choose me in that kind of situation or whatever. Yeah, so beautiful. Yeah. I have one final question for you. What is giving you strength or light at the moment in your own life?
What is giving me strength, eh? I think I'm a mother. I'm a mother of two. I'm a wife. I'm a sister. I'm a daughter. I'm also a niece. So basically, I am connected to other people.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm connected to other people, that only gives me strength to wake up every morning, and say, I'm going to go out there and make a difference and build the legacy so that one day when I'm not on this earth, my uncle would say, because of Noks, I'm going to do yoga.
Yeah.
My children would say, because of my mother, I'm going to change my diet. I'm going to make a difference. So basically I'm doing this not just for me, but for the family and for the next generation of people, and also for the community. One of the other strength that I get is from looking at the children who come from nothing, just like where I come from. I live in a shack, but living in a shack gives me a strength to say it's okay. And I wake up every morning with a smile because I'm still alive. That's the most important thing. Because I'm not the shack where I come from. I'm not the poverty, where I come from. I'm not the area where I come from. I am not the gift. I am me. Sorry, I go on and on.
No, it's fine.
I
It's so
me
wonderful.
because, one of my strengths is that I choose me. Choosing myself is one of ways, that I get strength,
Yeah, that's so inspiring, so wonderful. Thank you just for who you are and for your work, what you do. Yeah, it's really so moving, and it's just like I already said, it's what I was just captured when I first heard of your work and your project, and was so like, oh my god, that's so amazing. So yeah, thank you from all my heart. Yeah.
Thank you.
And also thank you, of course, for your time now to have that little chat about you and your work.
Thank you so much. Thank you.